Hot Springs, Arkansas, the Mountain Valley spring water rises naturally to the surface of the earth where it is bottled untouched to this day. Mountain Valley prides themselves on truth, integrity, and clean, pure water. They bottle in glass to preserve quality and taste and also proudly offer recyclable, green plastic bottles as a convenient on-the-go alternative. There's never been a better time than now to get back to your source. So head over to mountainvalleyspring.com to find your local retailer or set up delivery to your home or office today.
Yeah. Get out my way. I need space to get the fake on. Get out my way. I need space I'm about to take on. Get out my way. Yeah, the frequency been way up, way up. Get out my way. It's too easy. It's a layup. Give me my space.
All right, welcome everyone to a special draft night edition of the Sports Junkies, where tonight, even if the pick you suggest would make you the worst GM in football history, we still want to hear your opinion anyway. I'm your host, Steve, and joining me this week is my co-host, Justin, who's currently locked away in quarantine. How's it going, Justin?
Yep. Quarantined as usual. Housework.
Right. So
Gotta love it.
I know how that goes. I don't feel like I can get anything done right now at home just because it's like non-stop. Somebody's bugging me every 5 seconds. I'm like, can we please just get past this already?
It's called having kids.
I know, right? All right, hang on, guys. Let me get the comments popped up here because it looks like they're already rolling in with us. So, looks like Christopher Shaw, my buddy Chris Tapia. Hey, man, this is the team right here, Chris, right here. See?
Oh, no, sir. Let me turn my hat around. You can't see my dark face. But you can sure as hell tell what the logo is. That's all that matters.
That's right. Oh.
It's just kind of funny how we're doing a show with these two teams as our teams.
I know, right? Hey, I'm good with it. I'm liking it.
I'm fine. We're going to win it this year. We went to Vegas. We'll talk about that later. That's a whole show.
All right, so Chase Young just went number 2. I'm going to update some stuff on my end real quick.
And of course, Chase Young number 2. You think? Who you think Lions are going to pick since we're on the draft subject real quick?
So I think
they got a quarterback. They still got Stafford.
I think that if they stick with the pick, if they don't trade it, then I think they're going to go Akuda. But I think they may trade that pick away. So we'll see what happens.
They need some help on defense, though, man. That defense is one of their problems. Wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jeudy popped off that board real quick.
Man, we'll get into that in a minute. That may ruin our second topic of the night. So, all right, man.
Nah.
So before we get started tracking and talking about tonight's NFL draft, let's remind everyone about our all-decade draft. So I'm going to pop those up because as of there we go. All right, so you don't have to look at our faces right now. These are the 3 teams the fans will be voting on. As of the start of the show, all 3 articles are posted, so head over to www.naturalstatesports.com after the show and read each of our all-decade team articles. Then click on the poll to vote for your favorite team. And be sure to look for additional polls on all social media platforms. We will announce our winning all-decade team on next week's show. So, let's get to the draft.
We will announce my reasonings for Manny Watkins to everybody.
Yeah,
I have been getting trash talked on all social media about my freaking team. So hopefully my article will explain a little bit about how I was looking.
Yeah, we shall see. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Anyway, yeah. All right, so
you've been a big brother of that trash talk too. Everything, any kind of comment that's been said that's negative is magically how it gets shared to me real fast.
I don't know how that happens. You got me, man. I don't know. I don't know. You got me. All right. So our question for topic number 1, and you know what? I'm going to hit Justin with this first question. It is draft oriented. We have not gotten past the number 3 pick, so this actually still works.
Yeah.
So, how many quarterbacks will be drafted in the first round tonight? Who and what teams are going to draft those quarterbacks?
Man, see, that's the tough one. Okay, we already know Joe Burrow went number 1. Thank God. Get him the heck out of LSU. I'm tired of seeing him. I'm tired of him beating everybody up because that was just an incredible year for him. I'll give him that. He deserved the Heisman, but that's just awful. I think number 5 is going to be Tua Tagovailoa. I think I butchered that name.
You did.
I did. Okay,
you did, but that's okay. Everyone's going to do it.
I've been practicing that all day, and then all of a sudden it comes out now, and it's a tongue twister.
Of course.
The Chargers did not get a quarterback.
Nope, they're without Phillip Rivers now.
Maneuvering stuff. Yeah, Phillip Rivers left. He went to Indianapolis, so that's good for them. So I think they're going to pick up Justin Herbert from the Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
So that's 3 off the board. And then I see Jalen Hurts will be a first-round pick just because of who's going to pick him? I'm not sure on that. My original thought was my Raiders, but they also have Derek Carr, and they traded for Marcus Mariota.
Right.
So the only other one, the Giants have a quarterback that they're sticking with. The Jets have a quarterback that they're sticking with. So I'm going to throw out a long shot and say Jalen's probably going to the Dallas Cowboys to beat Dak Prescott's backup.
Okay.
I believe their pick is 13 in this one. No, they are 17 is the Cowboys' first pick. Because, you go through the thing, Browns have a quarterback, Cardinals got a quarterback, the Panthers are number 7. Panthers need a quarterback, but they're not going to do it. So I say 5.
Okay.
5 quarterbacks are going in the first round.
So you got 5. You had what? Let's recap that. Burrow,
Herbert, Tua, Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and I didn't get to my 5th one, did I?
You didn't.
Sorry.
You have to cover that here in just a minute. Okay.
Jordan Love, Utah State.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. So here's my thoughts. Obviously, Burrow went number 1 overall, but I think we will see 3 others go in this first round and maybe a 4th for 5 total. So I'm with you on the numbers. I think we're going to be close to those numbers. I think that it's going to be pretty close in there. So I like Justin Herbert to the Dolphins. I think that pick makes sense for him. Sorry, I was looking up here. It looks like Jeff Okudah just went to the Lions. And then the Dolphins are in desperate need of a franchise quarterback, and they got to stop missing on guys. Herbert was supposedly a surefire top 5 guy last year if he chose to come out after his junior year, and here he is again as a top 5 guy. The Chargers are another team in need of a quarterback with the departure of Phillip Rivers, like we talked about. I'm not sure Tua will be a franchise-type quarterback, but he's going to be drafted like one. His upside is tremendous. If a team can build an offense around him and rein in some of his do-too-much style of play, then I think he will succeed. We shall see if Lynn and Steichen can make that happen because I like the Chargers to take Tua. The 4th quarterback I see coming off the board is kind of interesting to me. So Jordan Love, you talked about him a little bit. He's an intriguing prospect. At 6'4", 225, he has great quarterback size, but 17 picks his final year at Utah State is not good and will make you question some of his decision-making. Love is that fall in love with guy that coaches are talking about a lot about, and some have even compared him to Mahomes. I think he ends up with the Pats at 23, but the Raiders, your Raiders, have 2 picks in the first round. So
yes, sir.
I could see
in the top 20.
Yeah, so I could see the Raiders making a run here as one of them 2 picks.
Now, the only thing about that, they may make a run, but you already got 2 franchise quarterbacks on your roster. Derek Carr, you're paying $100 million to, and you just signed Marcus Mariota. So do you really think you need a 3rd one that's there right now?
So here's my issue there.
What about your 49ers?
Well, my 49ers should be okay at quarterback right now. They got 2 picks. I think they're going to go wide receiver before they're going to go quarterback. So here's where I am on that. So I just lost my train of thought. You had to throw my Niners out there. Dang you, man.
So that wasn't that hard.
Yeah, where were we at? You done lost me. Anyway, I see. Go ahead. I'm sitting here trying to do 2 things at once. But I like where the I think that Jordan Love ends up with the Patriots, but I think it's interesting too. So Love is a guy that I think a lot of people are really talking about heavily right now, and that could end up anywhere. My point back to the Raiders was Derek Carr is not Gruden's guy. He was saddled with Carr when he took over. I think there's been some issues between him and Carr. Mariota, look, I'm an Oregon guy. I loved Oregon as when Mariota was there. But man, he's been so questionable at Tennessee. He's been beat up. The questions about Tua with his toughness and him being injury prone. I think the same questions could be for Mariota, who's lost a lot of time this year. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think that having those two guys on the roster is going to preclude them from making that pick. I do think that Love could be there with the Patriots. However, I think another guy to keep an eye on is a Jacob Eason. He's a fringe guy that could sneak into the end of the round. Look out for the Patriots to make that move, or look out for somebody to trade up into the final part of that the first round. So looks like.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if I see too many teams trading up, considering the fact that they have not been able to have the one-on-one time with the players that they want. I mean, unless somebody really wants them and has actually gone out to talk to the player before all this quarantine and COVID-19 stuff hit, I really don't see too many teams trading up in picks right now unless they got somebody that they've fallen in love with way before. Like somebody they've been looking at the whole year, somebody they've been tracking the whole year. Other than that, I don't see too many teams trading up. Not in this first round, at least, because, I mean, what do you got to give up to get a first-round pick in this kind of draft?
Yeah, and I agree, because you don't know, and there is a lot of questions. I'm surprised at this point that we didn't see, I didn't think the Redskins would go anywhere. I did think the Lions would maybe trade out there. We'll see what the Giants do here. I like the Giants to take Isaiah Simmons right now, so we'll see.
Simmons would be a good pick for them. They need help in that position.
Yeah, and we talked about that. I think it'd be really funny to see Simmons end up there and be coached by Brett Bielema. So that would be very intriguing and interesting. And see how that works out.
I forgot about that. Bielema did go to the freaking New York Giants.
Yes, so, he did.
Yeah, he can go ahead and make that organization fall apart next. That seems to be his thing.
Hey, I'm down with that. Won't hurt my feelings any.
Oh, it's not going to hurt me, no.
Right? I mean, hey, we'll have it. So, all right, well, when we get back, we're going to talk about one of the deepest position groups in this year's class, wide receivers. We'll be right back.
What happens when you do not change your oil? Change your oil, folks.
All right, we're back. All right, so for this second segment, we're going to jump into another question here on the draft. So far, just kind of following along here. Give me your comments, folks. We only got about 6 people watching us right now. If you're on and you're watching right now, please give us a share. Give us a like. Make sure you hit that share button right now. Share it. Get it out to everybody. Make sure everybody's watching this. Make sure your friends are watching this. I know you're watching the draft. We got the ticker right here at the bottom, so you're not going to miss the draft. You can have it on in your background. We're much more entertaining to listen to than those guys up there and all this coronavirus wash your hands stuff that's going on it right now.
Right. 2 people working in the whole organization to draft players that just don't seem right in the first place.
It's crazy, man. I tell you, it's a wild scenario right now. So,
and those 2 guys aren't even in the same room, though. You think they'd at least be like in the same room, like being able to talk with each other. They're doing the same thing we're doing, trying to figure out draft picks for their franchises.
Yeah, and their IT guys are like in motorhomes out in their driveways and stuff, just in case something breaks.
Right. Which, did you hear the thing about that they were having so many issues? The first pick was like 5 minutes delayed.
Yeah, they had issues with it. That's funny.
I kind of hope that happens. I don't want to see it for the NFL, but that would be must-see TV in sports. Whenever all of a sudden somebody gets an extra 5 minutes before you get your pick, you get to really go over some stuff. I hope my Raiders get that. I don't mind the delay for
that. I'm not going to lie. I thought it would have been really cool if somebody would have just hacked into the draft on the very first pick and picked C.J. O'Grady #1 overall. It would have been awesome.
Oh, that would have been outstanding. I don't know about O'Grady. That would have caused a uproar. I mean, if we would have picked like McTelvin again, that might have been okay. They want to go defense. They don't need a quarterback. They like the redhead,
right?
That kind of scenario. But CJ O'Grady, it's like, oh my god, oh man, that would have blew up everything. Which that probably would have been good for the NFL now, because all I've been hearing is Stephen A. Smith argue back and forth with a wall for the past week and a half about the NFL draft. It's kind of getting old.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so question number 2. You got that primed up over there, or you just want me to ask it to you?
Oh, I got it right here.
All right, I got it on the screen.
Since we are on pick number 4 now, I'm not looking at it.
They're about to announce the Giants pick here in just any minute.
They're about to announce the Giants ruining their franchise with Bielema. So will a wide receiver be drafted in the top 10 tonight? And if so, who? Who do you think it'd be? Let's add a little extra on that.
Okay, so if there's going to be somebody – oh, hang on. You know what? I'm messing up over here. Let's get a countdown clock. All right. So if there's somebody who's going to go in the first round, I think it'll be Jerry Jeudy. This guy right here does not want it to be Jerry Jeudy because I want him to fall to number 13 and end up with my Niners. I think he's the most likely. Obviously, I think Ruggs could end up somewhere in that neighborhood as well, but I don't think that's a guy that's going to end up at the top of the draft, or at this high in the draft in the top 10. The other question is, who really needs a wide receiver right now in the top 10? So, the Cardinals would make sense because they really don't have anybody for Kyler Murray. Well, I guess they do now with Hopkins, right? So,
well, they got Hopkins and they have Fitzgerald still.
Yeah, but you're going to have to do something with Fitzgerald. He's not going to give you another 2 or 3 years. So, to me, I think the Cardinals would make sense, give them another weapon, but I think they're going to go offensive line. You got the Browns, the Jaguars, maybe the Panthers, but I don't see that. And our first offensive tackle just came off the board as well, Andrew Thomas from Georgia. So I'm going to go no. I do not think we see a wide receiver go in the first round tonight, in the top 10. I do see we will see several in the first round, but I don't think we're going to see any of them in the top 10.
Wow.
I don't even believe myself.
We're just seeing like eye to eye tonight almost. We picked the same amount of quarterbacks, and honestly, I don't see a wide receiver going in the top 10 either, because just like your point, the only teams that could use it, Jacksonville could use it at 9. The Chargers need a quarterback. They got to get a quarterback with their pick. So somebody's going to fall off the board. It's either going to be Herbert or it's going to be Tua. It's going to be one of those two go the Chargers. If not, the Dolphins. Dolphins, right. Chargers, I think, going to be quarterback. That's your first round pick. They need somebody to build their franchise off of. I don't see the first wide receiver going until 12. And it's either going to be Justin Jefferson or Jerry Jeudy to the Raiders, because they have 2 quarterbacks. Quarterback would not be a bad pick, but what's the one thing the Raiders didn't have last year for Derek Carr to do? They tried Antonio Brown. We all know how that worked out. Same thing with the Patriots. It's not going to work out. You guarantee the man so much money, and then he wants to try to sue you over the last stuff. That's just not going to work. So I don't see a wide receiver being picked to number 12 unless the Cardinals really want some help. But I think the Cardinals go on a defensive route before they worry about offense.
Okay. See,
they got the Hopkins trade, so that made them that much better. So now you got Hopkins on one side, and you got 85-year-old Fitzgerald on the other side. That's still 2 great receivers there, unless they go C.J. O'Grady as a tight end. They may go with that pick. They need a tight end.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, they're not going to go. They're not. I don't see that happening anytime in the early portion.
He's came up twice already in the first 10 picks. We just want that boy to get drafted. He deserves it.
I know it, and we're going to get to that in the next segment as well. So don't run off on us yet. So when you look at the top 10 right now, let's see. You've got Chase Young obviously went. We lost. So Okudah went to the Lions. Thomas to the Giants. You got the Dolphins picking now. We figure quarterback. Chargers, we figure quarterback. The Panthers, they're going to be sitting there probably staring down the barrel of being able to pick Isaiah Simmons. I don't see how they pass on that. I don't see how they go wide receiver. So when you start looking at and I had the top 10 wide receivers here in front of me. So by ESPN's ranking, they got Jeudy 1, CeeDee Lamb 2, Justin Jefferson 3, Henry Ruggs 4, Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State 5, Michael Pittman Jr. from USC at 6, T. Higgins from Clemson at 7, Denzel Mims at 8, Jalen Rieger from TCU at 9, and Van Jefferson from Florida at 10. So,
which is weird because I see other ones like KJ Hill didn't cut a top 10 in that. I mean, that boy, he's not that big, but that's your slot receiver that, could do some damage in anything. We watched him. I mean, everybody, if you're an Arkansas fan or football fan at all, you've watched an Ohio State game just because they were supposed to be, all hell and Urban Meyer was gone. And KJ Hill took control of that offense. I mean, he should be a first rounder. He should be higher in the first 10 picks as well, too, in my personal opinion. And then what about Colin Johnson out of Texas?
That's an interesting name as well that could sneak his way into, but I think he's probably a third round guy. A guy that I think people need to be, I think a guy some people need to be watching out for is KJ Hamler from Penn State. That's a guy that I think is going to sneak up some boards and end up being drafted a lot higher than people think. He's not in a lot of the top 10 rankings, but he's been getting a lot of love too. I like him in that scenario as well. So, I hope we're streaming well. I'm getting something over here saying my stream is lower quality right now. So hopefully everything's good, guys. We're waiting on the Dolphins pick here, but yeah. So when you look at the top 10, even though this is an extremely deep wide receiver class, I'd be shocked to see any go in the top 10, but I think you'll see a big run, like you said, starting somewhere around 12, between 12 and 20. You could see 6 or 7 wide receivers, 5 or 6 wide receivers go in that time frame, especially in those 10 picks, 12 to 22, 23. I think you could see several.
Well, especially as everybody else starts taking all the other best players, like, the Giants took a tackle out of Georgia. I mean, that's a great pick for them. They need offensive line help. That was one of their biggest worries they had. Their defense was good. They had a running back. But poor Barkley couldn't even get around the dang corner because every freaking end that he tried to go against was tackling him in the backfield because his tackle was on his ass.
That's true.
You just can't have that. So, like we said, Tua and Herbert should be the next 2 picks. I don't know why these teams got to take, the full amount of clock time, and I guess it's for TV and ESPN to, make it a 3-hour-long show.
You got to let those talking heads get their words in. So this is an interesting stat that just popped up on my phone. Some of y'all probably got it. So Joe Burrow, Chase Young, and Jeff Okudah are the first 3 college teammates to be taken as top 3 picks in the NFL draft. All 3 of those guys played at Ohio State together at one point, even though Burrow ended up at LSU.
They did, yes. Burrow ended up being a transfer to LSU his last year. I did not notice that. Look, it says LSU, Ohio State, and I did not think about that. That is 3 Ohio State kids.
That's a clean sweep across the top 3 for Ohio State.
Wow. And it could have been 4 if KJ would have gone to New York, but I don't want the poor boy to go to the Giants.
I don't see
I understand. My feelings were truly hurt when he didn't go to Arkansas, but I understood why he went to Ohio State.
Right.
You can't really deny the kid.
Yeah.
But, thank God he didn't go to the Giants. Oof, that would have.
Well, they did right. They went offensive line. You got to wonder how much input Burt had there to go O-line, since that's supposedly his specialty, even though he's coaching linebackers for some strange reason.
And that's funny that he's coaching linebackers when we had the worst linebackers in college football when he was here. I mean, that's just
a
whole other topic for another time. But
we didn't have a whole lot of good when he was here anyway, so it's not like that really matters. So,
well, that one Alabama game was outstanding if we would have had a kicker.
I agree. There was a few.
Don't forget.
There was a few times up until borderline erotic where Bielema football was fun, and then borderline erotic happened after Texas, and shit fell down in a hurry. So, yeah.
The only thing erotic was his wife. Okay? Just go ahead and do it like that.
Oh man, Lord have mercy.
Hey,
Lord.
number 5 pick 2.
Was it? Did he?
To the Dolphins.
I missed it. I looked down.
Sir, it just popped up on the top of my screen.
Oh,
on the clock now. The Chargers.
I guess I had those backwards. So hang on, let me update the list here.
I told you, man. That's why I'm the football guy.
That is why you're the football guy. We'll see. We will see. Well, here, spell Tua Tagovailoa.
We'll see that number. TAG.
Yep.
OV. AILOA. Tagovailoa.
Hey, look at you. If you really got that right,
Yeah.
we'll know in a minute.
I told you I got it right. I've been practicing that all dang day to get ready for my pick. And, of course, whenever I say it, I butcher it like I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, of course. All right. So, reminder now, everybody out watching us right now, please hit that share button. Make sure you subscribe for live notifications on Natural State Sports. You don't want to miss us. You don't want to miss our live show tomorrow night with Zach and Andy. So make sure you hit the share button right now, though, because we want more people watching. And get in the comments, guys. We're missing you guys. Christopher Shaw, Dwight Raleigh. Give us some love here, you guys. As we go into this final segment, we're going to talk some Razorbacks and who we think will be drafted first. So don't miss it. We'll be back.
Get on my way. I need space to get the fake. Strong that I'm born with. Fuck a goofy cornball clout chaser claiming rap. You the reason why I left. I got bored, I'll take it back. Y'all asleep, you taking naps.
All right, we are back. Sports Junkies are back here with you on draft night. We're waiting on the Chargers to announce their pick. Seems like this is going a lot quicker than I had anticipated for I really thought that
It's
the draft
still
would be
going
further
slow
along.
because we still got the heads talking on TVs way too damn much. They just need to hurry up. And it's funny how they're on the clock for what, like 2.5 minutes, yet it takes 15 minutes to get each pick in.
Yeah, something like that. That sounds about right.
It just don't make sense to me. There's something not right about that whole situation. You got 2.5 minutes. I'm sorry. My fantasy football draft, 2.5 minutes hits, it's done. There is no, I'm gonna keep talking about it, and here's why I'm picking this, So,
Yeah.
I just got a text message saying good job on Tua to Miami. I told y'all this freaking 6 months ago.
Well, it's about time that you got something right because you're not going to get the all-decade draft.
Wow.
Right?
You say that now, and if I come out on top, boy, oh man, I hope y'all please just vote for me just despite these two. You would not understand the amount of crap I've gotten in the past week, especially this one right here. I mean, every single time any comment goes against me, there's been like 4 or 5 comments that have gone against me. It's not like it's been that much. But every single time, I don't care what time of night it is, it could be 2 o'clock in the morning, my phone goes off, and it's Steve tagging me in somebody's hateful comment.
Hey, I just got to make sure that you're aware that you're at least at first glance you're not doing so well. So I think that
at first glance, I never do well. Then in the end, I've come out on top. So don't worry. The article explains it. Have you read my article, by the way?
I have not. I got to get on there and read it. So I've not read either article yet.
You need to get on there and read it when it posts because I think you'll be like, oh, he's not so stupid after all. Oh.
Well, it should be posted, so we'll have to check it as soon as we're done here and see because it should be out there.
I can't wait to read Jackson's. He's been shit talking the whole freaking time. Excuse my language, but he's been, he is very confident on his picks.
Yeah,
and you are too, actually.
I am, man.
You and him are 1 or 2 with the cockiness there. So I really hope both of y'all lose, just despite it.
Well,
and then I keep my track record of undefeated Natural State Sports contests we've had going on.
Yeah, we're not going to let that happen. It's not going to happen at all. No. Mm-mm.
Boy, and if it happens, y'all are never going to live it down.
I know it. All right, so everybody out there, this is probably going to be most folks' favorite part. But we wanted to talk a little bit about the Razorbacks that are in this draft. I'm going to throw up the top 5 here on the screen that I see having any chance of being drafted. These are guys that we've kind of been following. So, of course, McTelvin Sosa Aguim, who's rated the number 10 defensive tackle in this class by ESPN. C.J. O'Grady, rated the number 15 tight end. Cam Curl, the number 19 safety. Dijon Scooter Harris, he is not rated. Now, I think he's rated at
Scooter
30s,
Scooter
40s.
should be rated, but for some reason, he's not even in the top 300 or nothing. That seems awfully weird.
And then another guy that he came on late as a defensive lineman for Arkansas, but T.J. Smith, defensive tackle, is another guy that I think is an interesting name. I don't think he'll get drafted, but he's an interesting name to watch there in those late rounds and see if somebody takes a flyer on him. I think he's been rated somewhere in the 40s, 45, mid-40s as far as defensive tackles in this class. So the question is, as we get into this, I'm going to pull this down. We will pop that up. It is, which Razorback player will hear their name called first in this NFL draft, and where are they going?
Oh, and where are they going?
Okay, fine. You don't have to give me the where are they going. I threw that one in there at the last second.
No, I like it. We're going to have to see where they're going,
right?
Because that's going to be deep in the first round. But the first one, it's got to be McTelvin again. But here's the catch to it. I don't see him playing defensive tackle in the NFL. I see a coach actually getting smart and pushing him out to the end and letting him cause havoc like he did in the start of his Arkansas career. You know, it was a bad choice by our coaches. Oh, let's put him in the middle. He can stop the middle. He can stop the run game. Why would you do that to somebody so talented? And he went in the draft as a tackle. He's the number 10 tackle. If he would have been an end, I think he would have got a higher pick. And who he's going to, it's got to be somebody who's going to need defense. So, who has the next pick? Let me see. I would love to see him go to my Raiders as their second pick because I got 2 picks in the top 20, and that would just make Justin Herbert just went off the board.
Yep.
But I tell you, brother.
Yep, Herbert to the Chargers.
Oregon. Yep, Herbert to the Chargers. Sorry, I just messed up my time. I could see possibly the Jacksonville Jaguars picking him up as some defensive help because lately they have been, shopping people. They've been moving people. They got people wanting to get out of that organization on defense. They're going to need somebody on defense. After him, it's got to be Cam Curl as the second pick, second Arkansas Razorback when it comes, gets drafted. And then I see C.J. I see him getting drafted. C.J. O'Grady deserves to get drafted. Regardless of what happened, you guarantee NFL's got enough money, an organization will want, and he's like another Gronk, basically, from what he can do. You just got to get somebody on his side and explain to him, look, dude, quit being an idiot. Get your personal life straight and focus on football. He does that, he's going to go a long way.
I agree. So all right, I'm going to throw my timer up there, and I'm with you. I like a game. I think McTelvin is. I think Sosa's going to be the first guy off the board for the Hogs. Obviously, it ain't happening today. It may not even happen till this weekend. We'll see where he winds up. I think he's a third round guy. Probably fourth. But I think he could fall into the third. I think some teams have started falling in love with him. He does have the ability to transition between defensive tackle and defensive end. We saw that, at Arkansas. And so I like what he brings to the table in terms of a guy that could pop up, on a good defensive line. I like your idea of the Jags there. I'd love to see him come develop in the Niners organization. The problem is the Niners don't have any picks between basically the second round and the fifth round. So unless he falls a little bit, I don't see that happening.
Or unless for some freak incident he goes undrafted, that would be a gold mine for somebody to pick up.
I agree. I just don't see a game falling that far. I think he's going to get an opportunity somewhere. So I think a game's going to be the first guy off the board. And I'm not even going to let my time run out here. I'm just going to end it right there. So a game to me is that guy. Now, you were talking about O'Grady a minute ago, and I wanted to follow up with what you were saying about O'Grady.
We got to have a conversation on O'Grady. That boy deserves more than what he got at Arkansas.
So CJ is an interesting guy to me in this draft. He's obviously got the talent to end up in the second or third round potentially. The question, like you said, and like anyone knows, is the mental side of it. And what concerns me is, Brett Bielema was a player's coach. I mean, the players loved him that played for him. He didn't demand a whole lot out of them. and O'Grady couldn't stay on the field for Brad Bielema. Then he ends up with Chad Morris, and honestly, I thought that O'Grady had done a great job of kind of turning that switch and really maturing a lot when he came into this season. And then now it obviously it's hurting his draft stock, and that hurts him because he left, got kicked off the team, whatever it was. But the fact is if you look at the scenario in which it played out under, who wanted to play for that guy anyway? Nobody wanted to play for him. Why would you want to risk injury and put yourself out there? So, in a lot of ways, I hate the fact that he, in a lot of ways, quit on his team. But I also like the fact that he's got some great. He has a great opportunity to do big things at the next level.
I don't think he quit on his team necessarily, and because the majority of, I hate to say this, and it just hurts me saying this because I'm just a Hog fan through and through, the majority of that team quit on the damn coach.
Right.
Because of his decisions. I mean, you're in year 2 of your organization, and, I got 30% of the freaking offense put in. Good job, John L. Smith. That makes a lot of sense, dude. I mean, if it's that complex, you need to simplify it, make it idiot-proof. I mean, that was I think, the biggest problem. Yes, he had some off-the-field problems, but how many times did Chad Morris pull him aside and say, hey, man, what's going on? What can I help you with? Can I help you? I mean, there's high school coaches that notice the kids kind of veering off in a wrong direction and come to him and just be like, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? What's the problem? I don't believe that was ever done. I think it was just, you're an issue. Get off my team. Yeah. Well, good luck, dude. That's why your ass got fired.
Well, and a lot of it, too, was the fact that he went – and again, if you're CJ and you know that you've had the issues you've had, you can't walk into your coach's office and say, look, I'm not practicing. You can't walk in on a Sunday and say, I'm not practicing. I'm not playing for you guys. You've either got to make the decision that the NFL is where you want to be, and if you want to come in and say, look, coach, I don't like the direction this is going. I don't like where we're headed right now. So realistically – I think that I'd like to sit and not have to risk injury going forward. So I hate it for CJ that he's in this position because he could probably be the first hog off the board. So looking through some comments here real quick before we get any further. So I'm going to throw some stuff up here. Dwight Raleigh says I'm kind of optimistic about Agim being the first hog to be drafted, but an analyst I follow for my Chiefs doesn't see him as a first round pick. He's definitely not a first rounder. So I know we're
no. We're not that lucky.
Yeah. I know that we're, enjoying the first round of the draft tonight, and that's kind of what's following us along because it just happens to be on the same night that we have the show scheduled. I don't see that. Christopher Shaw also agrees that Geem will be the first hog off the board. I do like Shaw's comment here. You just got to smile in the old John L. Smith. So.
God, yeah, because I mentioned John L. Smith. You just gotta smile.
Right.
How do you smile when you're getting your teeth kicked in? There's nothing to smile about. You can gum it. That's going to do very well. But,
oh, man.
Jesus Christ. No, you can't just smile about it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So Dwight says, Justin, you got some reverb on your mic. Yeah, we're working on that. It cleared up last week, and that's back.
We've had that problem since day one. And, dude, I've cleaned it. I've prepped it. I mean, I even secluded myself in my garage. Maybe that's my problem. I need to find a different room in my house.
Yeah, I may have too much sound. Something. I don't know. I'm not technical enough to figure that out. We're gonna have to get Will to figure that one out. He's our tech guy, so we'll rely on Will. Guy.
He's gonna tell me to find another room in your house to go record your show, sir.
Man, I ain't worried about it. You can come right here. He just needs to get me that other camera, Will. So is Chad Morris our audio guy as well? Good stuff, Chris. Good stuff.
I just saw that when I looked down too. That's awesome.
That's good.
We're not hiring Chad Morris. He's down at Auburn, but that is awesome. Hang on, let me go ahead and just give him a like on that one because that was the best comment I've seen all night. That's funny.
No doubt. There you go. We'll throw that one up on the screen so everybody can see it. So other hogs that we could see going this weekend, like we talked about, Cam Curl's another guy. So, man, I
would love to see him go, but I just don't know I look back on the past 2 seasons. That kid got burned a lot.
Yeah, he did. Now, was he just playing? Was he just playing out of position? Now, I mean, obviously he's being rated as a safety going to the next level. I thought he was much better.
He was much better at corner than he was at safety.
Yes.
Now, the Panthers, just big Brown from Auburn.
Yep.
That's going to make that middle of that defense go nasty.
They passed on Simmons, so Simmons is still sitting on the board. Simmons is going to fall to the top 10. Somebody's going to get a steal. Let him into. I'd seen some stuff about the Niners talking about trading up for Simmons. If Simmons falls into their lap at 13.
The Niners actually have number 13 from Indianapolis, so he may fall on their lap because you got to think you got the Cardinals, who are probably going to go either wide receiver or defense.
I think they're going offensive
Jags.
line.
They're either going what?
I think they'll go offensive line.
Curl is a daggum corner. Thank you, Chris.
I like that. I agree with Chris. I thought he was really good at corner, and I thought the move to.
I don't know why. I don't understand. Like Matova Nagin, why are you in the draft as a tackle? Go in the draft as an end. That's what I don't care what you played last year. Don't start that.
Well, no, but that's what they grew Agim into is the problem. So when they thickened Agim up to put him inside, he had no choice. Now I think that if a team wants to take the time to give him an opportunity and thin him down a little bit and put him out there as a defensive end, there's a possibility. I just don't know if he's got the quick step enough to sit up at defensive end.
Easier than thicken up though.
No, I agree. Well, I don't agree. I'm thickening up pretty easily right now during quarantine. Not in good ways.
Well, but if somebody's going to pay you about $5 million in the next year, you're going to thin up.
Oh, I'll go run around the neighborhood a few times for that. Ain't no doubt.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be walking everywhere. You're going to be running everywhere. And that's what I'm saying. If somebody drafts you and they tell you, hey, once you was in, you need to thin up a little bit, I guarantee you there ain't going to be no donuts tomorrow morning. You're going to have some, raw eggs and a 3-mile run first thing in the morning.
Yeah, you paying me. You pay me to do it, I'll do it in a heartbeat. But otherwise, I'm just lazy and fat. That's all there is to it. So,
what do you?
Go ahead.
Here's a random question since we're on the draft.
Okay.
I'm looking at this and I see Tampa Bay at number 14. Now they got Tom Brady. Supposedly they're getting Gronk.
Now, they're getting him as long as he passes a physical. There's no supposedly about it.
That boy's going to pass a physical. That boy's been on a beat somewhere, freaking kicking it somewhere. He's in prime shape. What are they going to do? That could be in a game.
So you'd think maybe receiver, but I think they need to go offensive lineman. I think they've got to do something to fix the offensive line. They need to really go tackle to protect Brady at least for another 2 years. Because that's been my argument for Brady being there is, can he stay upright for the whole season? So to me, they've still got Mike Evans. They've still got Godwin. So they're good there as far as their wide receivers go. I don't think they're going to have any issues there. So,
they need a running back.
Yeah. Christopher Shaw says O-line or running back. I definitely agree with that. O-line or running back would be probably where we'd end up going with that. So Cardinals pick is in, so we're just waiting on that pick to drop. But I don't know. I agree, though. I think it'll be offensive line more than running back. I think that's too early in this class for a running back. I don't think there's a running back that I would be jumping at 12 for. The kid out of Georgia, I think his name escapes me right now, but I think that's really your best option for running back, but I just don't see him going this early in the first round.
Not that high, because you got to think you go that high, how much money is that going to be guaranteed to that boy?
Yeah, and that's the big part of it. So Cardinals are just about to announce, so before we go, here comes Goodell from his basement. Yeah,
I love this Goodell from his basement for the first round only.
I know. Where's he going to be for the rest of? Although, look, I got to tell you though, this would have been so much cooler in Vegas. We might have actually. There goes Simmons. Dang it, Isaiah Simmons to
Simmons
the Cardinals.
Was the next one. Yeah.
Oh man, now my Niners got to face him every year. My buddy Chris Tapia should be extremely happy about that pick. So that makes me almost want to cry because I would have loved to see him fall to the Niners.
And you got to think, in him, along with former Arkansas Razorback at linebacker.
Yeah. I'd have been all about
got
some
Dre
of that.
on one side and Simmons on the other side. Oh, man.
Well, so, hey.
Thank God he did. Thank God he didn't go there.
Yeah, well, hey, now, there's talk that I know Scuda has been at least contacted by the Niners, so Scuda could meet back up with Greenlaw out there at San Francisco. That'd be interesting. I wouldn't turn that down.
No, you wouldn't turn it down because it's two hogs going to your nasty Niners. So, that's, of course you wouldn't turn it down.
Well, no,
but,
absolutely.
Would you really want two damn near rookies on your linebacker?
I mean, if Scooter was as good as Greenlaw was last year, then absolutely I'd take him. But I don't know that Scooter's that good either. So Greenlaw
Scooter's no Dre.
No, Greenlaw came out of not really out of nowhere, but he was a pleasant surprise last year. I agree with Christopher again.
Arkansas fans knew what Dre was.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it. It's just everybody else turned the game on in the third quarter when he's been running around chasing everybody the whole damn game and he was kind of tired.
Right.
You don't get adequate rest when you have no linebackers with you. That's going to make you tired. I'm sorry. I'm fat. I can't run that much. And especially if I was in shape. I still don't want to run that damn much. It's just flat out how it goes.
I'm dropping all kinds of paperwork over here. All of my notes are all over the place here. All right, there we go.
Dude, we've already gone off of notes at least 3 or 4 times already with this draft going on above us.
So, all right. So before we leave, you brought up a point, and so we're kind of in that point of the show where we could throw some things around. You made me think about it a little bit, but
yeah, I told you to come around.
Yeah. So biggest bust, at least in your memory, biggest bust in draft history.
God, my Raiders did it.
Yeah. I think we're on the same wavelength here, more than likely. Although there's another guy that could fit in there, too.
Who's the other guy? I mean, it's Jamarcus Russell. I mean, that dude, how do you not study a playbook and you're the number 1 overall pick? But then again, how is the organization, sorry, Raiders, how the hell do you allow somebody to be your quarterback and not know your playbook?
So I agree, but the talent was there, and so that would
Johnny Manziel.
I do like the Manziel. That's there as well.
Manziel wasn't a bust. He was just that preppy white kid. Nothing personal. It was just that preppy white kid that got way too much money and got handed an organization when he wasn't ready.
Well, I agree with that. He had money before that. He just thanks to family. But yeah, my other thought would be Ryan Leaf too. I don't think you can leave Ryan Leaf out of the story or out of this conversation either. I mean, that's a guy that was very highly rated and do what?
That was a bust. Didn't he have like personal issues or something? Or
it's called pills.
Well, I remember watching something on that.
It's called pills. Lots of pills. He liked to pop them pain
That's
pills.
what it was. Yeah.
Yep. See,
okay, now it's all clicking from the ESPN special I watched on him. Yeah.
Russell had the purple drink issue. He couldn't stay away from whatever that drink was that they drank all the time down in
Russell didn't have a drink issue. He was just freaking like 6'8" and 400 pounds of stupid. I mean,
no, he had something. He got busted with it. A couple of those codeine laced drinks or whatever they would drink all the time. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, you can tell I never had that. And Ryan Leaf was the pills. Yeah. So, yeah, Christopher Shaw said Chad Kelly. That's funny. So, yeah, I don't think Chad Kelly could be considered a bust. You would have had to be good to be considered a bust, right? Oh, I mean, just because
that was a stab.
Just because he went to the Broncos in their 8 Super Bowl. I mean,
here's another.
It's an inside joke. I know the Broncos didn't really have 8 Super Bowls, but I couldn't let that one slide.
What do you think? And it kind of hurts me to say this, but do you think Darren McFadden was a bust in the NFL based on that turf toe that plagued him through his entire career?
I mean, when you look at his college, what he did in college, yes. I mean, you could almost label him as a bust. The problem was
freaking Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
This is on fire tonight.
Tim Tebow was ahead of his time a little bit for the NFL, though. So much like Matt Jones back in the day. So
Matt Jones had other problems.
He did, but he was ahead of his time in terms of position in the NFL too, because he in this day and age he could probably translate to an NFL quarterback, not back then. But yeah, so and Christopher makes a good point there. That was my issue with the Raiders. It's hard for me to call McFadden a bust
to a team with no line
because he went to a terrible Raiders team that's where career
that Raiders was awful.
Die.
But even then, it was the same turf toe issue. I'm a Raider fan, so I follow the Raiders, and it was always turf toe, turf toe. Boy, put on some damn sneakers and make it right. It's just something didn't seem right about a turf toe affecting you 10 years down the road.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I do agree, but it's just, I don't know, man. Maybe, didn't the turf toe actually start like at Willie D's or Ernie Biggs or something when he kicked somebody and went from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was like the downfall of his career, which, I mean, he still put up good stats and still had, good parts. He would still, I remember watching all the Raiders games, and he would still break out, and we'd see, it'd be number 20 instead of number 5, but, I mean, you're not going to catch him.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think the biggest issue with that was the Cowgirls coach not trading for him and getting Felix Jones and Darren McFadden in the same backfield again.
Would have been nice. I mean, who knows what?
Or the Raiders trading for Felix Jones and bringing that. I mean, you got to think, if you have those two back together, I don't see why more NFL teams don't do that in the beginning. Let's get as many people from like the same background in college.
Yeah. Well, the biggest
quarterback,
thing,
wide receiver, like let's say if the Bengals next pick is Justin Jefferson from LSU. Oh crap!
I'd be all right with that.
That damn near makes them a playoff team if you can find some linemen to do it. But I mean, because those two, that was in sync. That was scary in sync.
I agree. So what about the Dolphins finding a way to get Judy or Ruggs? Then you're teaming him up with guys that he knows
I think
too.
the Dolphins will get one of those two, but I mean the Dolphins have nothing, and they have to get more of an offensive line, especially you got Tua.
Yeah.
Okay. One accidental fall like last time, that hip's gonna fall off.
Possibly.
I don't care. I don't care how surgically repaired the damn thing is. That was a freak accident, yes, but you dislocate your hip.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if you've ever dislocated anything, but
not a hip, but yeah. I mean, it's a tough one. I still think that they'll build now that we know, I think the Dolphins will try to build a system around him. But again, the Dolphins have kind of become that Raiders team where you don't really want to go there because they just keep making bad picks. So hopefully, I mean, it's not untrue. Hopefully the Dolphins can figure out some way.
Al died. We're doing better. Al died. Okay, I know
see.
that's awful, and rest in peace, good man. But Al dying was a grace of God for the Raiders overall.
Yeah,
because he was 99%. He was like the Jerry Jones for the Raiders. He was the one that you just need to sit back and collect a check. And Henderson, quarterback from Florida. Yep, they did. Yep.
They did.
That just interrupted everything I did when I saw that pop up.
Yeah, sorry, I was actually updating scroll.
Which is what they need, because didn't the Jaguars just have was it a cornerback or safety? Somebody was demanding a trade.
Yeah, he left, so he's out. Didn't he end up? I don't remember.
Yeah,
he's gone. He's gone. All right, man. Well, that's gonna about do it for this episode of the Sports Junkies. If you like the show, let us know in the comments, and please hit the share button. Share this thing. Get it out. We want everybody to know about it. Share.
Everybody know what we're doing here.
That's right. We want as many people watching. You don't have to watch live. We like when you watch live because we like to throw some comments out there. Christopher Shaw's been on a roll tonight, so he's going to be our fan of the week for sure. So hit that. Let us know. Hit the comments. Please hit the share button right now so all your friends can come argue with our opinions as well. Make sure you have your notifications set for tomorrow's episode of Natural State Sports Live with Zach and Andy. And be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app to both Inside the Natural State and Around the Diamond. That'll do it for me, man. What else you got over there? Anything good for us, Justin?
Nothing good right now. Just watching this draft up here behind your big head I got and that nasty hat you got on.
Well, you got to love the hat. Go Niners. Go Niners.
I don't love the hat. We'll just go ahead and black out my face, since it is the black hole in Vegas now.
That's right.
And let everybody see the logo before they leave. Don't worry.
That's right.
We're going to win it this year.
No, not happening. But we need to go to a game. We need to go to the game at that new stadium. That'll be a segment for another episode.
Dude, we can have a live episode in the new black hole.
I'm down. Let's do it. All right, guys.
I'm fighting on it.
Well, until next week, wash those hands. Have a good one. Enjoy. See ya.
Yep. Go Raiders.